Sabina Park is ready, and so are we. The third place playoff in the 2023 Jamaica Premier League. Harbour View, the Stars from the East, against the Junglists, Arnett Gardens. Both these teams have won 5 titles in their Premier League career, but today it's about saving face and ending the Premier League on a high note. They have had some tough battles over the years, these two. And in fact, Arnett Gardens did the double over Harbour View this season with 3-0 and 1-0 wins respectively. What will the Stars from the East come with today? The last time Harbour View tasted victory, it was in 2021, 2 seasons ago, on the 10th of September, where they won by a 1-0 on that day. With me, Leger Williams. Leger, obviously for you, pre-team's favourites were Arnett Gardens. This is just not a match that, as you said, that teams would want to have to contest.
Yeah, it isn't, but as Lola Bernard so eloquently said before the game, he said that this is still has a lot of stakes to it. This game still has a lot of stakes to it, just because of the fact that, you know, there's still qualification to the CONCACAF Champions League at stake. And of course, there's pride at stake. There's always going to be pride at stake whenever these two teams play each other. Arnett Gardens, as I mentioned, one of the more successful teams. So too Harbour View, the defending champs. They were in a much bigger game this time last season, but they have to settle for 3rd place this time. Arnett Gardens, they had a much better season than they have had in around 5 seasons actually. Many people had them as pre-season favourites, including myself actually, but they have the 3rd place game now. They will look to try and pass around the ball. They didn't really have a good showing, I think, in that semi-final against Mount Pleasant. They're looking to change it around and have a good game this time.
Do you think that the 3-week break hurt Arnett Gardens? I know, speaking to Eric Rademacher a couple of weeks ago, he didn't think so because they were playing practice matches and he thought they were sharp. Practice matches is never the real deal. Do you think that 3-week period hurt the momentum of Arnett Gardens, considering they were leading at the end of the preliminary round?
And I do think that it could have, but I think that especially from the first leg, we saw evidence that it didn't, because for much of that game they were going toe-to-toe.
We saw this season.
Yeah, exactly. They were going toe-to-toe with Mount Pleasant, a team that has been playing over that break. So they did look sharp in that game. I just think in the second leg, they just didn't have the desire. They didn't play as well as they usually do. And Mount Pleasant really and truly, tactically, physically, and in all aspects really played them off the park. And I think that's just a part of it. That just happens in football. But it could still be that they ran out of gas. They weren't as sharp as Mount Pleasant were over a certain period of time. But, you know, that's gone. That's the past. They can't really lament on that now. And at the end of the day, I know that every team wants to be in that top 2 for that break. So it's not really something that they can use as a crutch to say, oh, we could have been a bit sharper. They were just outplayed on the day.
From a Harbour View perspective, obviously injuries maybe at the wrong time, especially at the top end of the park. A couple of players, key players in their attack leaving earlier in the season. Nicholas Hamilton, Trayvon Reed, two of the better attacking players in the Harbour View squad, leaving to go overseas in the transfer market. And then Colorado Murray, a 46-goal man in the Premier League, picking up a groin injury which really put him out. Do you think that really hampered Harbour View's potency in the playoff arena? Because we have seen in the playoffs where Harbour View, that's where they've really come alive. So a lot of persons would have been expecting them to give a better performance than they did.
Well, to be honest, Harbour View were struggling offensively all season. The players that you were mentioning, Trayvon Reed left really early, Nicholas Hamilton really early as well. Colorado Murray really struggled to get into his groove. I think only 4 goals this season. And they tried Guard Stewart up top for many games. He only scored 1 goal. So I think Colorado Murray 6 goals this season, as you're correcting me, Chris. But yeah, I do think that they struggled offensively all season. Timar Lewis also with 6 goals. I just really don't think that they had the potency that they had last season, and not even from a goal-scoring perspective, creativity-wise as well. They took a lot of shots in the semi-final, but none of those really seemed like good chances, confident chances. So they have a lot of work to do offensively, I think, for next season.
Yeah, they will need to be busy in the transfer market. Colorado, Krista J. Daly actually did come back into the team setup, and that helped them. Harbour View on the attacking end of things, they're number 10, but it wasn't enough to carry them all the way. The defending champions were knocked out, and they play for 3rd and 4th against Arnett Gardens. Still something to play for, because apart from the 3rd place finish as well, as you heard Ludlow Bernard, there is an opportunity to get into the club championships as well. So something for both these teams to look forward to. Arnett Gardens with a lot more changes than Harbourview, and probably a deeper bench as well. Here we go, Arnett Gardens in their full white with red trim. The Stars from the East in their regular yellow and blue. They finished first and fourth respectively in the preliminary round. So much pedigree, so many trophies, so many top league performances between these two teams over time. And I guess this match for them will be somewhat bittersweet.
Yeah, no doubt about that. When you say bittersweet, this isn't the game that they want to be, neither team, neither coach, neither fan base as well. Evidenced by the lack of Arnett support in comparison to the semi-final, but the players will still want to make a good account of themselves, the two strikers who have in picture especially.
Well, yeah, and they hold the captain's armband as well. They wear it. Colorado Murray on the left, Fabian Reed on the right. 16 goals for Fabian Reed this season, equaling his best season ever. There are the officials: Alexi Perry, the man with the whistle, Keone Denton, Rickton Archer, and Odette Hamilton, his assistant. Odette Hamilton, FIFA official as well, the most experienced of the female officials from Jamaica. And she'll be doing her job from the sidelines as the fourth official. But yeah, Fabian Reed, 16 goals on the season, and really remarkable after coming back from injury what he has produced for the Arnett Gardens team this season, as well as leading them. And this is how they will be shaping up. Asher Hutchinson, the Dintel standout, still a schoolboy as well. He comes into the frame, getting an opportunity. Joel Cunningham, Rashawn Amos gets a starting place. DeAndre Cunningham, who scored in the semi-finals, is in as well. Philando Wing will play from left back. Marlon Martin, the hard tackling midfielder. Kevon McGregor, the teenager, is into the starting lineup. Romeo Guthrie, Rashid Kelson, our player to watch. Marlon Allen comes in to join Fabian Reed up front. They're coached by Paul Teagat Davis.
Yeah, expecting kind of a similar system from Arnett Gardens, but more firepower up front with Marlon Allen, who can find the back of the net, and he'll be supported by Fabian Reed.
Harbourview, they will play with a 4-3-3 lineup as well. Palmer, based on his top performances between the sticks, retains his place. Ordelin Harding, Romain Brackenridge, Gavin Burton, O'Shane Staple, the exciting overlapping right back, Sean Daly, Roger Smith, Joshua Nangling. Colorado Murray recovers from injury to take the captain's armband and lead the line. Timar Lewis, our player to watch today, and the ever-present Christa Daly, who came in mid-season and really added a lot to this Harbourview team. They're coached by Ludlow Bernard, of course. And yeah, good to see Daly in there as well.
Yeah, really exciting player. Live wire from attacking midfield, drifts into the wing areas, loves to cause problems, and he can cause problems for really any defense he goes against. Christa Daly.
Just about ready for the start. Yeah, Daly, 4 goals and an assist for him this season. Did disappear a bit, we thought, in the semi-finals, especially after, let's say, the half-time whistle. And that's something that I think he will need to work on, and the coaching staff have made note of that as well. Here he is on the ball, Christa Daly. Just 20 years of age, the number 10. But yeah, options up front has been a headache for Ludlow Bernard this season. You certainly always want the players to get opportunities in greener pastures, as we said, aka Nicholas Hamilton, who is in Iceland, is it? And Trayvon Reed moving on overseas as well. And yet they were 2 standout players last season, especially Nicholas Hamilton in the playoff period. Trayvon Reed was probably their player of the season. But yeah, to lose both those players in quick succession and then an injury to Colorado Murray, I mean, that's everything up front that we saw last season for Harbourview. Paul Teagat Davis and Eric Rademakers, the main brains behind this Arnett Gardens team.
And of course, we're quick to say that it's not a 2-year project. So although they are disappointed that it has ended the way that it has this season in terms of not getting into the final, they're still looking forward to making a big impact on this Arnett Gardens team in the future.
Yeah, Eric Rademacher's involved at the schoolboy level as well with Campion and has an academy based there as well. And they made great strides in schoolboy football this season. Got out of the first round for the first time in some 30 years. And we've seen good youngsters come out of that camp. So positive at the youth level for Rademacher's as well. And we've seen the impact he's had with Paul Teagat Davis, who played at the highest level for Jamaica. So, yeah, combining strategies and cultures, because of course Rademacher's from Holland, came to live in Jamaica and work in another area, but his love football, and he's found a home with Arnett Gardens. And yeah, you must say that, as you said, if you were to look at Arnett Gardens maybe 2 seasons ago, they've really improved in terms of how they've been playing, using the ball a lot more composed at the back as this ball is played into the air. And yeah, a lot less selfish play, as we would say. Sometimes in Jamaica, one of the things that Jamaicans are heavily criticized of is doing too much with the ball. And I think certainly right across the Premier League, we've seen a lot more improvement in that. Not to mention the surfaces. Not many better than Sabina Park, as that shot is deflected. Or is it? No, it will be a goal kick. Ludlow Bernard, talking about schoolboy football, he did it all at Kingston College and Wolmer's before that. Really enjoyed, especially knockout competitions, even though he couldn't get it done either in the Link Cup or in the Premier League. But yeah, and then winning the Premier League, which was missing from his CV. Did it last season for Harbour, unable to repeat. But from a coaching perspective, he's really enjoyed the Jamaican landscape.
Yeah, probably enjoyed it more than anyone else, or more than very few really can match up to his CV in terms of coaching. Ludlow Bernard.
You wonder if eventually you look to go overseas and maybe try his hand there. Something that I've always been an advocate for, to see our Jamaican coaches get opportunities overseas and broaden their scope on coaching. Sean Fraser beside him, upcoming coach, was at Wolmer's in the youth program with the under-16s, former national striker Sean Fraser, and the assistant coach to Ludlow Bernard. So he's one of those rising in the ranks. Chance here for Arnett Gardens. Fabian Reid off to Martin, and Martin's strike is blocked. Of course, one of the coaches that we have seen go overseas is Miguel Coley, who was the assistant coach to Schaefer for a while in the national program, won quite a few trophies with Jamaica College in that dynasty over, say, a 10-year period, Miguel Coley, and he's been overseas getting more experience, and we need to see more of that from the coaching landscape. Yes, players are going overseas a lot more now, which is excellent to see, but our coaches as well need those opportunities to grow even further. Here's Arnett Gardens looking to grow into this game. Strike from outside, and well, that one wide from Shea Smith. Oh, actually, that was McGregor there with the strike. We're in the gear of Shea Smith, so used to calling his name in that number 11. Similar build as well. Smith did score in the second leg against Mount Pleasant, or it was actually in the first leg in that 2-2 first leg tie or draw. Not in the starting lineup today. Young McGregor there, actually a student at Tarrant High. Good to see someone out of Tarrant progressing in this way into the Premier League. Did get an opportunity in the Link Cup. They're number 11 and now in the third place playoff.
Marlon Allen there, playing over on that right-hand side. Expected to see him up front, but he's a very versatile player. But yeah, Kevin McGregor, good as you mentioned, to see him progressing from schoolboy football at Tarrant. Obviously, Tarrant not a school notorious for their football program, but yeah, it's good to see that he's at one of the better clubs in the island, really, and doing well, getting game time in a relatively big game on a big stage.
Yeah, into the starting lineup as well, not only gaining minutes, but a first choice, McGregor. And good to see from a coaching perspective, Rademacher and Paul Teague at Davis, that using the squad in this way. Obviously, they realize, yes, you certainly want to end the season high by getting a win, but also an opportunity to have a look at a few players as well, see what they can bring. The goalkeeper as well, and brought in Asher Hutchinson, who's still at Dinthill. Harbourview into the area. More of their regular starting lineup, and yeah, well, Hutchinson a bit unsure as to what to do. There's a heavy breeze coming across Sabina Park, 27 kilometers an hour, the breeze. And even though it's pretty hot, that will help to keep the players rather cool, but also they will need to adjust to the conditions. And you could see this header here just getting stuck in the breeze and almost coming back towards the frame. Here's Arnett Gardens again, coming forward into Fabian Reid, their leading goal scorer this season. Nice strike, easy for Palmer. Getting everything behind it.
Kelson drifting over into areas that he is very comfortable in on that right-hand side, cutting in on that left foot. But yeah, comfortable saving in for Palmer.
Palmer got an opportunity in the Link Cup and certainly grabbed it with two hands. No pun intended. But yeah, displaced Anthony Bennett, the teenager between the sticks, who had an outstanding end to last season, did Bennett. But yeah, Palmer has been good and he's brave as well, Palmer. Chance for Harbourview to come forward. Smith. And Murray was actually trying a through pass there, but it was cut out. Injury to Kelson. In the 10th minute, still yet to see a goal. Third place playoff. Never usually the kind of match that brings high intensity. We saw it in the Link Cup as well, where there was a pretty calm encounter. This was that incident. A hit to the chest of Kelson. Player to watch for Harbourview, for Arnett Gardens today. 3 goals and 3 assists for him. But he'll need some attention now. There's Paul Christie, the sporting director at Mount Pleasant, looking on. They have a big match coming up at 7 p.m. against Cavalier. Mount Pleasant looking for their first title at this level. First time in the final, looking for their first Premier League. It will be the first as well for Theodore Tapper-Whitmore, their head coach. Paul Christie was at this stage last year, couldn't get it done with Dumble Holding. What will happen today? No surprise that they're here early as well, Mount Pleasant, because of the travel from St. Anne. If they execute the win as well, they'll be the first team from the parish of St. Anne to ever win the Jamaica Premier League.
Yeah, it could be a real historic day if they were to lift the crown. A real tide-shifting achievement it would be.
Fabian Reid looking to find some history of his own. Another goal here, and it will be his best return in a Premier League season. They're number 13. Currently at 16 goals, third on the overall table, behind Colin Anderson and Trevante Stewart. Whistle on the play. Christopher J. Daly driving forward. And yeah, a little late there was Joel Cunningham, who's had a good season at centre-back. Joel Cunningham also wearing the captain's armband at times when Fabian Reid was out into the area. Good ball. And well defended in the end.
No stranger to leadership as well. Cunningham captained his college team, went to Howard University, left with a master's as well, so accomplished young man.
Into the area again. It's Cunningham who gets a head onto it, and Hutchinson is brave. He was fouled as well by Colorado Murray. Was looking to get in, but yeah, Joel Cunningham. Very unusual nowadays, and it's a rare commodity to find a left-footed centre-back, as Timar Lewis is ball inside here, and here was Cunningham and Martin who got in each other's way, and Brackenridge probably got a slight touch. Brave goalkeeping from Hutchinson, but yeah, back to Cunningham. You even see at the international level generally, or club football outside of Jamaica, that left-footed centre-backs are unusual, hard to find, and I'd like to think if the scouts are looking on, that Cunningham would be a nice candidate for them, because coaches do really like to find left-footed centre-backs just to even out the distribution from the back line. But most times what has have to happen is that they've had to adapt with a right footer.
And it's important that he's a natural centre-back as well, someone who is very physically dominant. So it's not necessarily a wing-back or a full-back that they use. Still a bit of bundling here in the Harbour View box.
Yeah, into the area towards the back post, but can't find Reid. Kelson, a left footer, but an attacker, and that's what usually happens when you find the left footers. They tend to be very attacking. They're either wingers, forwards, or midfielders, but as you said, as a centre-back, unusual, and he is one. In fact, I can't really think of another in the Jamaica Premier League either who is starting at centre-back as a natural centre-back. There is a left footer, but that's a Juma Johnson, who played left-back all of last season, but started his career when he was at Camperdown as an attacking midfielder, and he's returned there, and I think he's one of the best in the country in that position. Not a natural defender, but it was an interesting move from Paul Teagat Davis and the rest of the management staff to put him at left back, and it certainly developed his game, I think. Arnett with the majority of the possession at 57%, and they have more of it now, driving forward. Good turn there by Fabian Reid. Brings in young McGregor. And that's, yeah, that ball needed a little bit more pace on it to find Cunningham in the wide area.
Yeah, I think he maybe could have tried to go on the outside instead of trying to cut inside. He looked up, was telegraphed very early from McGregor.
Maybe he's not one of those natural left footers we were talking about.
Maybe Kelson on that side would have been a bit more dangerous.
Oh yeah, he would have looked for the shot. Nice build-up play initially by Arnett, but an inadvertent touch, and it's, well, kept in. Good work that was. Was it Fabian Reid who was getting in there, using his experience there, number 13, 31 years of age now. Fabian Reid.
Really interesting, the defensive roles that we're seeing Harborview deploy today. A bit of everyone outside of their natural position, I'd say, except for Brackenridge. Staple at left back. Gavin Burton at right back, someone who saw play at centre back for Lola Bernard in high school. And Harding at centre back as well.
Yeah, Burton is a utility player. Can play in the middle of the park, has played wing back, centre back. So as you said, versatile youngster from the schoolboy level. So no surprise to see him there. They have experimented with O'Shane Staple in the left back role a couple of times. I don't think he's as natural at the left back role, but yeah, we saw it. We have seen it in the playoffs with Staple so far. Even coming off the bench, he played in the left back role. But I said not as fluent on the left hand side. Not as consistent a season this one for Staple as we saw last season when he was best right back in the country. Leading goal scorer as a wing back as well with 5 goals. This season, just 2, but even his performances, especially to the back end of the season, have been a bit inconsistent. That probably would be a card, maybe. No. Alexa Perry opts for the talk. Foul on Marlon Allen. Another one of those who wasn't as consistent this season for the Junglists. Maybe a bit of a hard task to repeat the kind of season he had last year, which was his first season in the Premier League, and he scored 10 goals and had an assist as well. Very important goals as well throughout the Arnett Garden season, which carried them into the playoffs. This season, just 5.
And a couple of hit or miss performances as well from Marlon Allen.
Lost his starting place eventually, and then Fabian Reid fully recovered from injury, and what a season he has had goal scoring wise. Here's an opportunity again on the edge of the area, but Kelson can't get the ball out of his feet. The player to watch for Harborview is Timar Lewis. Here he is. Gets a throw. Arnett, they have had the majority of the ball so far, looking to come forward. Kept in by Kelson, using the right foot, overhit though. Guthrie. Philando wing. Out to McGregor, and McGregor's ball is disappointing. Kicking against the breeze. And he certainly didn't adjust well, the teenager.
Seen a lot of it out there on the left though. McGregor heavily involved here is again. Head injury. Because if it's Colorado Murray, we'll need some assistance.
Yeah, he really needs no more injuries, Colorado Murray. 28 years of age now. And yeah, Joel Cunningham was nudging him in the in the back there. Good to see him moving freely though, Colorado Murray. Apart from that, did see him in the second leg and against Cavalier, and it really was a struggle for Colorado Murray with a groin injury. which has plagued him over the latter part of this season. Just 6 goals on the season, 1 less than what he scored last season. But yeah, Harbourview definitely look a lot more potent when he's up front, and it's someone for the likes of Tristate daily to work with, because he's a very intelligent forward, is Colorado Murray. He's been around a long time, has won the Golden Boot before, back in 2017-18. So he knows all about goal scoring, but he just hasn't been able to stay fit throughout the season. Here goes McGregor again. On the right foot. Now to wing, lots of space, almost a pedestrian pace inside the area. And that was a poor finish from McGregor. Back to Kelson, and that was just as weak. Well, McGregor got inside the area. Now we probably see why he didn't use the left foot previously. Bad connection from the Tarrantine youngster. The first touch wasn't good. Neither was a shot from either himself or Kelson. And Kelson, who favours the left, you would have expected a much better strike. Here's Reid. And well, he can't hit the target either. Fabian Reid, 16 goals on the season. And you'd have almost bet your house on him to at least hit the target from there. So much space being allowed by Harbourview. And you'd like to think if this continues, they're going to pay the price sooner or later.
Yeah, a couple of not so convincing finishes by the Arnett Gardens attackers, but if you keep on giving them those chances, a team as potent as Arnett Gardens are, they will make you pay. But it's Harbourview now who are looking to get forward. Referee Alexi Perry getting in the way of that one. See a drop ball here.
Just about 24 minutes gone, and we're still yet to see the first goal, or a goal, between these two. Twice they've met this season. Arnett winning 3-0 and 1-0. Harbourview not even able to penetrate the defence of Arnett throughout this season. It's been 2 years since they tasted victory against the Junglists. A Lovell Palmer strike back in 2021, accounting for that victory. Handball by Colorado Murray, and they turn it over again. No real intensity from either team so far. Very slow build up by both. Arnett with the majority of the possession, have had a couple of look-ins, but the finishing has not been the best. Nice flick on there for Guthrie. Plays broken once again back to Amos. Here goes Kelson. Actually, it's Allen in the wide area. Did score the first goal in that 3-0 win, Marlon Allen, on the 1st of May. I'm sure he'd love to add another or more today and finish the season on a high note. Krista J. Daly inside, gets it back. Nice 1-2 play there. Tamar Lewis, yeah, he's offside, just went a little bit too early. Did Harbourview number 11. I think he knew it as well, just looked over his shoulder and realized that he made the move too early. Nice 1-2 play though by Tristate Daly in the middle of the park. Ball handling skills in the middle and creativity is what he's brought to this Harbourview team. Lewis thrives more from the wide areas, likes to cut in onto that left foot. Those 6 goals this season, including a hat-trick for Tamara Lewis. There's Eric Edwards, the regular number 1 for Arnett Gardens, injured and out, watching from the stands and given an opportunity to Asher Hutchinson instead. Eric Edwards, who last season made the transfer from Portmore United and had an outstanding season with the Junglists right through, and has had a pretty good season this one as well, with Arnett Gardens finishing on top of the table in the preliminary round.
Harbourview growing into the game as of late. Past couple minutes, a couple of incisive plays, but Arnett still staying firm. And here they will break. Cunningham now to Allen. Broken up well by Staple. And Anglin will move Harbourview forward.
Dangerous ball back into the area, and Cunningham's touch is too heavy for Hutchinson. Philander wing with an awkward pass in there, but it's, as I said, this pedestrian mentality of the third place playoff. We've seen it on both sides. Lackluster defending, and they give up a corner.
Yeah, that's not something that we've grown accustomed to seeing from Arnett Gardens, especially Wing and Cunningham, 2 of their more consistent players so far this season. So yeah, as I mentioned, a bit lackluster in terms of their play.
Harbourview into the area towards the near post and comes back out to Daly. Not opportunity, good ball. 3 yellow shirts lurking. Here's Anglin from outside the area. Not known to score many goals, Joshua Anglin. And hit it into the defence line of Arnett Gardens. Does win a free kick, though, Anglin. And another chance for Harbourview to put the ball into the 18-yard area and to try and create something useful. Amos here committing the challenge, just stretching across Anglin, who showed good strength. Both these teams only conceded 21 goals in the preliminary round. Only Humble Lion and Mount Pleasant were better in terms of defensive record. So as you said, it's a bit surprising to see the kind of defending we've seen so far, even though it's still 0-0. Anglin goes for goal, and it will be out for a corner. Again, the corner is not to the level that it needed to be, and a chance to break for Arnett Gardens. Kelson looking for McGregor. And a chance to break up the play. Here goes Wing. Nice 1-2 play. Wing inside the area, but this time Harding was there to get it away. Wing with a left foot on target, but easy for Palmer.
I think he was trying to catch him out there, Wing. Lined up for the cross and instead went for the snapshot. Took a deflection as well, probably made it a bit simpler for Palmer and the Harbourview net, but Arnett still looking dangerous whenever they go forward. Yeah, but yet to put on the finishing touch onto what they're doing.
Yeah, that shot certainly didn't take flight. But at least something on target for the Junglists. Here's Wing again. Looking a bit more purposeful now. Very difficult, you would have to say, mentally for a lot of these players, considering they would have seen their opportunities dashed at winning a title, which is what at the end of it they were really playing for. So hard to get them all energized again. Here they go though, Arnett Gardens inside the area. This is a nice build-up move, but the pass from Kelson to Allen wasn't the best.
I think it was the wrong option as well. Probably should have gone across the box instead of trying to cut it back. But in the end, that is what they're coached to do. You can see Arnett create a lot of chances from those cutbacks, but maybe should have used better decision making there.
Martin, not necessarily known for his ball handling skills, but that was a lovely turn in the middle of the park. But again, Harbourview get narrow and get it away. Now Lewis. That touch was too heavy from Timar Lewis.
And I think maybe the presence of Joel Cunningham there made him try and take that touch around him a bit too quickly. And it was a heavy one.
Here goes Wing. He means business so far this afternoon. Nice wide ball to McGregor. Tries to beat Harding McGregor. Unsuccessful. And well, Anglin trying something cheeky and wins a goal kick.
Yeah, I think this game can go two ways in terms of what the players are feeling. Some players are a bit lackadaisical, but players like Anglin seemingly taking it for a skill show. And pulling out his party tricks.
Yeah. And there will be a couple of players who would have gotten an opportunity that they wouldn't usually get, that probably need to make an impression. Like McGregor, for example. Arnett with the possession yet again. Dangerous from Amos, but he gets away with it. Into Cunningham. Cunningham, who scored the one goal in the second leg for Arnett Gardens in that 3-1 loss against Mount Pleasant. Shot from outside from Kelson on his weaker right foot. Gets it back. Comes to Allen. Allen, well, didn't put much thought into that, did Marlon Allen? And it's out for a goal kick. What do you think about Marlon Allen playing in the wide areas, though? Not necessarily his best strength. Playing the wide right of the front three.
I mean, he does have the pace, he does have the physicality, he can ghost by players really well, but as you can see there, from example, from that attempted cross or shot, whatever he had in his mind, I don't think he has the quite enough decisiveness in those wider areas.
All his 10 goals last season came from inside the box. He's very good at, very, very aware as a centre forward, and just pops up at the right place at the right time generally, does Marlon Allen. This is a lofted ball which would be easy for Hutchinson.
Yeah, I don't think the wind is helping Harbour view down that side, but
yeah, but I can't quite remember Allen drifting in from a wide area or cutting in and letting fire. He's not that kind of player generally. I mean, I'm not saying that they can't find something new from him, but you wouldn't think it's his strongest position, the number 9.
Yeah, doesn't necessarily have a great left foot either to cut in and shoot onto, so... Yeah. But, you know, maybe it's necessity in this game. Probably not wanted to start too many young players in unfamiliar positions. Maybe we'll see a Kaheem Dixon come on later on playing in that attacking midfield role. Kelson going to the right-hand side. Still a lot to do here, but probably still wanted to play Fabian Reid in this game, but wanted to give Marlon Allen some game time as well. Thought this would be the best for him.
Yeah, well, Fabian Reid, the captain. Here's Allen trying to prove you wrong, cutting on to the left foot. As we said, lots of power, but not the accuracy.
Almost definitely proved me wrong there. I didn't even think he had that much power in his left foot. Well, yeah. Strong shot, but not as accurate.
Has said very often in interviews that he wants to expand his game, likes to try new things and loves challenges. This in itself, playing in a wide area, to me is a challenge for him, especially in a season which hasn't always gone his way. Was almost a short pick last season based on the performances he had in that 10-goal season. But this year, with the advent of Fabian Reid getting back into form and inconsistent performances from him, he lost his place. This was the move here onto the left foot. Yeah, lots of power, but as they say, well off target in the end. A product of Ocherias High. Marlon Allen came actually to Arnett just for a tryout, and the rest is history. Really a nice story behind the 20-year-old. There's Carvel Stewart, civil engineer by training, the chairman of Harbour View Football Club, and the vice president of CASAFA as well. Carvel Stewart has been around football for so long. A man of great experience and great knowledge of the local football landscape. Seeing if his Stars of the East can cop a 3rd position in this year's competition. Not quite living up to the heights of 2022.
Everybody just give him a rock now. Capoeira, capoeira, capoeira. Give him the rock, Mr. Capoeira.
Good to see the fans coming out early to support the 3rd place match as well. Or maybe also looking for an early seat because of the blockbuster we have at 7 p.m. with Cavalier coming up against Mount Pleasant in the final. Cavalier looking for just their 3rd hold of the Premier League, 1981 and 2021. Their 2 titles. Mount Pleasant, it's the first time they have gotten to a final at this level. Here's Arnett Gans, chance. And the flag was up for offside. This game certainly needs a goal for things to come alive. Nobody wants to lose, but nobody also wants to take the initiative either. Here is Arnett Gans. Can they take the initiative? Chance outside the area to Guthrie. Well, I'm not sure what kind of shot that was from Romeo Guthrie. And we've seen so many shots from Arnett Gans badly scuffed in the first 40 minutes of play. Guthrie usually very good technique, especially from outside the area. But it wasn't to be. Here's young McGregor inside the area onto his left foot. McGregor can't find the pass. And it's deflected off the boot of Sean Daly and out for a corner. He's got a shot of Decoy Williams, another one of the young coaches looking to make his way. Former national player and centre-back, Decoy Williams. Part of the Arnett Gardens coaching staff. Very interested in developing youth, Decoy Williams. Actually wants to coach at the schoolboy level and the young schoolboy level as well, looking at even the under 14 and under 16s. The grassroots of Jamaican football is where Decoy Williams initially really wants to apply his trade. He thinks that that's where the difference needs to be made. Exciting to hear a young coach talk like that, you know, looking to get it done at the younger stages and build for this level. Certainly has said that he sees a lot of talent in Jamaica at the youth level and wants to help to develop that and to you know, give his experience, having played overseas in the MLS as well, Decoy Williams, and national player, Arnett Gardens man through and through. Here is Waterhouse. Here's Harbour view into the area. And a free kick. Foul committed by Joel Cunningham. Lewis and Daly will like this one. Certainly suits them as left footers. There's the bright orange boots of Krista J. Daly. Disappointing effort there, blocked, and Arnett Gardens with a chance to transition, but the transition is so slow. Not looking to use a fast break, which is something they've been known for. Now Harbour view, and yet another free kick just outside of the area. Handled ball, it seems. Into the last minute of the first half. And this third place playoff still yet to produce a goal. Daly along the ground, intelligent ball, and Colorado Murray, well, he's asking for a penalty. He thought he was fouled. Instead, Arnett Gardens a goal kick. Not much in that. Looking to turn. Yeah, this time not successful.
All officials indicate minimum 2 minutes to be added to the first half.
So 2 minutes of stoppages confirmed. Almost completed a minute of it. Still 0-0. If we're all square after 90 minutes, we do have half an hour's extra time and penalties to go in this. I'm sure that would be painstaking for both these teams if they have to go the full distance. Just a few seconds to go in this first half. Third place playoff, Harbour View against Arnett Gardens. And we're still locked at 0. Alexi Perry, a glance at the watch. And that's it for the first half. These two teams who scored over 80 goals between them this season can't find any in the first 45 minutes. The 16-goal man, Fabian Reed, no. And the 46 career goal man, Colorado Murray, no. 0-0 after 45 minutes between the Stars of the East and the Junglists.
This is the Jamaica Premier League for 2023. Just want to tell you that we presenting sponsors digital offering some protection. Magazine to purchase 1,000 digital credit.
They come alive, and we're certainly hoping that the second 45 minutes is better than the first stanza. Ligier Williams is with me. Ligier, what do you think the team talks would have been like?
Well, for Arnett, probably more of the same, but just a little bit more decisiveness when in and around the box, looking to shoot a bit earlier, and when trying to apply the final pass, as arbitrary as it sounds, try to get it right. For Harbour View, I think they need to up the tempo. I think they've been just cruising through the game, and it was their coach who lamented before the game that they would have wanted to win this game to get qualification for the CONCACAF Champions League or the playoff places at least. So they would want to up the tempo, try and go toe-to-toe with this Arnett Gardens team. But for Arnett, they were playing well. They had more of the possession, more shots. More shots is just about being much more decisive in the final third especially.
Yeah, it's a new format at the CONCACAF level. The new CONCACAF Champions Cup. And it will be the 2024 edition. The top 3 teams from the Jamaica Premier League will get qualification to that tournament. So added incentive for these two. And you couldn't tell if you watched the first 45 minutes. As I said, very easy going. Harbour View yet to register something on target in this game. Arnett Gardens with 4 attempts. And yeah, weak strikes though, as you would see in the highlight reel as well. Inside the 18-yard area. But yeah, unable to really penetrate. Here we go again. Arnett in the full white with red trim. Harbour View in the blue and yellow. The new expanded tournament at the CONCACAF level will now actually include 27 clubs from around the region. Exciting tournament. Of course, Cavalier and Mount Pleasant will be there automatically as a finalist, and one of these two will join them. Chance to walk away with $5 million if you win, as well as, of course, the trophy.
We were speaking about the effectiveness of Marlon Allen on the wing generally, but especially on the right-hand side, and right away in the second half it seems that he's moved to that left, with McGregor going to the right-hand side, maybe looking to be a bit more dangerous, probably with wing overlapping. He could tuck inside a bit more, playing more that inside left channel, Marlon Allen. And McGregor maybe so right-footed, maybe he could go down the line more and maybe try and be stronger on that side. So just a adjustment early on in the second half from Arnett.
Here's Harbour View. So you wanted to see more impetus in their play. This is it. And a chance to the back post. Sean Daly looking to get in on that, but couldn't steer it on target.
Yeah, right away we're seeing Harbour View move the ball much quicker. Roger Smith, the architect of that one. Tamara Lewis with the ball in. Yeah, not the best of headers.
Just 1 goal in the Premier League this season, Sean Daly. did get a lot more game time in the Link Cup, where he had a really nice goal where he cut in from the right hand side onto his left foot. That match actually at Arnett Gardens, that lovely goal he scored. Seems like a long time ago. Getting a starting opportunity today. So far I've seen very little of the ball. Another poor example of play from Harbour View under no pressure, and give away a throw. You just wonder, Leger, how many, as we see an opportunity, nice ball angling just behind Tristate Daly there. They had a 3-on-2 scenario on that play. Here they come again. Daly. That was never going to get through to Daly, to Tristate. Here go Arnett on the counter with Kelson. Kelson almost couldn't make up his mind, and then turns it over. Well, I haven't seen much different in these first 3 minutes of the second half. No changes thus far for either team. Yeah, Leger, back to my point, I was saying, you wonder how many of these players actually know that there is something up for grabs here in terms of that qualifying spot for the CONCACAF tournament. Because yeah, you did hear Ludlow allude to it. No one from the Arnett coaching staff mentioned it. And based on how they're playing here, I'm wondering if they are even aware. Because it is a change to the format. Harbour View into the area.
Well, coincidentally, it's a team that you'll be wondering if they are aware in Arnett Gardens that are playing the better football. So maybe they are aware, and their coach was trying to not speak on it in the pre-match press conference.
Yeah, both teams to me just going through the motions, though. This is nowhere near the intensity we're used to seeing. Guthrie has an injury to his back. The three wise men, Decoy Williams, Eric Rademacher and Paul Teagat Davis, in consultation, trying to come up with yet another plan to break down this Harbour View team. There's Jaheim Thomas. Well, actually, that is young Clarendon College standout in Kaheem Dixon, who usually wears the number 13 for Clarendon College, has a changed number. At first glance, initially, I thought it was Jaheim Thomas, who is another young player from the Da Costa Cup who plays in Arnett Gardens and has been a good find for them this season. Yeah, but Kaheem Dixon, he'll be looking to make a real impression after the kind of season he had in the Da Costa Cup. Clarendon College winning numerous titles, and he was a nominee for Player of the Season as well. Did make the All Da Costa team. He was, to me, the most outstanding forward, certainly in the Da Costa Cup.
Didn't get the most goals, Kaheem Dixon, but it's his overall play, his link up, his ability to drift to the wide areas, ability to bring his teammates into play. That was really impressive to me. And of course, he wasn't shy of putting the ball into the back of the net either. whether it being conventional means or acrobatic ones.
Card to Odalyn Harding. Into the book 4 challenge on Kelson. But yeah, Dixon had a really good season for Clarendon College. As you say, when you say he didn't get a monster, he didn't have the highest amount of goals, but he did have, what, 17 at the end of it. Did Kaheem Dixon. And had about 9 assists as well. Some season he had. And he'll be anxious to make an impression. I'm excited to see him at this level as well, Dixon. Of course, did get a little taste of the Premier League briefly at the Chapelton Maroons.
Has been many of the Clarendon College standouts. Of course, there was a max exodus of them, so we're seeing them now scattered all across the league.
When Lenny Hyde departed as head coach. Chapelton Maroons have also departed the Jamaica Premier League, relegated along with Falkland. These two teams don't have to worry about that, but they are playing for a spot in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. And here's the first change. Arnett Gardens will make it. Rivaldo Mitchell is on, and Kevon McGregor is off. Not the best performance for the Tarrant youngster. Did see a lot of the ball in the first half. Unable to really make an impression on this man, Mitchell. Was an exciting player in his days at Wolmer's Boys. Mitchell still yet to really stamp his class at this level. Playing against his former team.
Fabian Reed, they're trying to get in. Harbour View at 6s and 7s around the back, but they've survived, and now it's Krista J. Daly trying to break free. We might have gotten a boot to the face there. Might have an injury for Marlon Martin as well. What a chance that could have been for Arnett Gardens. Seemingly out of nothing, it was Marlon Allen sneaking in. Eventually got the shot in. But in the end, it was well handled by Palmer in the Harbour View net. And Harbour View have survived.
This is a build-up play again. Fabian Reed there, and look at that coming in. Palmer did well, down early to the left-hand side. And then a challenge. We've seen so many of those from Marlon Martin, but it looks like he's come out second best. Himself and Daly colliding. Daly's back up, Krista J, that is. Unusual to see Allen on the worst end of things. Not Allen, Martin, sorry.
We get another example of Arnett trying to push forward. More dignitaries in attendance. Big occasion, this one. Especially the final coming up. We're seeing a pretty good crowd, although most of it is our Mount Pleasant supporters who have arrived early.
There's Theodore Tapper Whitmore, the head coach. His usual look. Pensive.
Well, when you said usual look, I thought you meant more of the hairstyle.
Well,
I was wondering if you would have grown it out a bit for the final, giving them something new, but he's leaving it for the young and the older people around.
Danny Beckford there, the Sintan FA president in the house. Representing as well. Big moment this for the parish. First time that there's a possibility of a Sintan team winning the Premier League. So free kick for Arnett Gardens. Play finally about to restart. 58 minutes gone. Still looking for the first goal. If we're all square after 90 minutes, we go to extra time. And maybe a penalty shootout as well. Overlapping play from Arnett Gardens into the near post. What a save! Or is it? Initial save, then a whistle on the play. Free kick. And there was a hit into the face of Romario Palmer. And good first time save. Low down to his right hand side. The attempt was from Marlon Allen. Here it is inside the air from Wing. Good kick by Allen initially. Not sure if there was much in that. Let's see it here. Wing into the area. First time attempt, well saved by Palmer. Then here, can't say he did much wrong.
It was actually a boot from his own player that caused him the discomfort.
Yeah, it actually was a boot from Odalyn Harding, it seemed like.
I think it was Gavin Burton actually.
Or Burton.
I saw him get up a bit upset, so I was wondering if maybe an Arnett player had left a boot in. But it seems as if he got up maybe upset as his own player, but he's gotten a free kick out of the situation. And you have to wonder because the ball ended up in the back of the net for Arnett Gardens, so it was a very legal goal in the end because it was his own player who impeded him.
Very unfortunate for Marlon Allen. Would have been his 6th goal of the league. And really and truly after the ball bubbled up off of the goalkeeper's legs, he really made no contact with Palmer. So yeah, Harbourview lucky to escape that one. Still locked at 0-0. Staple finds Lewis. Lewis on the left hand side, cuts in nicely. Lewis. This is a part that they've added to their game over the last season and a half, Arnett Gardens, the ability to play out from the back, better ball handling and confidence. Something that Rademacher's especially is big on, coming out of the Dutch system, that total football idea. They believe in the use of the ball and not necessarily wild clearances or just booting it out, as we see the confirmation of the yellow card to Krista J. Daly.
Also about to see 2 substitutions. Jamon Shepherd coming on for Roger Smith.
I've hardly called his name Roger Smith.
Yeah. Gareth Stewart will also be making his entrance, coming on for Sean Daly. So maybe we're going to see Krista J move on to that right hand side. Gareth Stewart probably playing either alongside Colorado Murray or a little bit behind him.
Yeah, he won't be playing the out and out striker at the moment, Gareth Stewart, because Murray is on. So I think, yeah, I agree, he will be sitting a bit deeper. I actually think he's better as a midfielder, Stewart. Yeah,
I think so as well, actually.
Not a natural striker by any means, and has a lot of height. We want to see him use that more. I think he must be at least 6'6", 6'5", 6'6", Stewart.
Maybe his coach saw him and saw shades of a Peter Crouch type, who you would be extremely familiar with, Chris.
Yeah. The difference is Crouch used to win most of those aerial duels. Very good with his feet as well. Stewart is good with his feet, but I find he's out-jumped a lot of times. It doesn't win a lot of headers. That's something he needs to add to his armory, because when you see him, you immediately want to lob something into the area, and probably that's what they'll do on this occasion. Let's see. Angling. Well, that's way too low. And well, that was a clearance from Joel Cunningham, which was just wide. And it will be a corner to Harbour View. Can't beat the first defender yet again. And Joshua Anglin, I think, says to himself, well, I've had a few of them and I haven't got them right. I'm going to leave this one. Rightfully so. Frustration for Bernard Fraser and company.
I think this one is a throw, actually. Was very close to being a corner, but yeah.
Stewart again looking for the flick on this occasion. Doesn't make contact. Comes off the Arnett back line, and it will be another corner. And yeah, Anglin has left it. This time it will be Shepherd, just coming on as a substitute. Shepherd, better delivery. This time it did beat the first defender, but Arnett eventually get it clear. And the former captain is down. Here was a delivery from Shepherd. Nice trajectory on that. Stewart was looking to get in there. And again he missed it. Just over 25 minutes to go in this third place playoff. Still looking for the first goal. The winner of this to get an automatic spot in the Champions Cup, the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Top 3 teams from Jamaica will be there.
In the 61st minute, there was a double substitution for Harbour. So number 10, Tristate Davey, and number 28, Sean Davey, will be replaced by number 60, Stewart, and number 37, John Shepherd.
Still a couple hours to go before his game. 2.5 to be exact. Kickoff at 7 p.m. for the Jamaica Premier League final. Mount Pleasant versus Cavalier. 8 if you're in the Eastern Caribbean. We cater to all here at your home of champions.
Tapper Whitmore against Rudolph Speed.
So many individual battles in and amongst the team battle. Colin Anderson versus Trevante Stewart
The Golden
for
Boot
the Golden Boot race.
There was an outside chance for Fabian Reid, who is involved in this one, to cause some problems, but he has not gotten on the score sheet so far, and hasn't even, well, apart from that one strike in the first half, we really haven't seen much from the 31-year-old, but he's on 16, 3 behind Colin Anderson and 2 behind Trevante Stewart.
I think he would have had to have had a remarkable game to cause them some serious problems.
Well, he's scored quite a few braces in his time, Fabian Reid, and in fact has a hat-trick already this season.
Against Malines.
Yeah. Arnett will have some defending to do. O'Shane Staple from distance. Staple! Ooh, into the side netting. A few of the fans actually thought that went in. Hutchinson at full stretch.
few of the fans, including myself. That one tricked me a bit because of the type of goals that we have here at Sabina Park. That one was perilously close. Maybe if he started from a bit more centrally, that one could have went in. It was always swaying a little bit out.
Wind pulling it wide in the end.
Yeah, good strike though by Staple. We know that he does have that in his repertoire. Hutchinson was at full stretch and seemingly stretched out something in his back, needing a little bit of assistance.
Here goes Arnett Gardens into the wide area, and Mitchell just doesn't get it right, and it's out for a goal kick. Looking to put the moves on Romain Brackenridge unsuccessfully.
His coaches always say that in training he's one of the most talented players that they see.
Mitchell, that is.
Mitchell, but sometimes in the games it doesn't quite come off. Maybe that was one of those examples, but the talent is certainly there.
Always been there from a schoolboy, and even at that level we're still waiting for him to set the world alight. Mitchell, very skillful, as I said, does show little sparks of what he can do. The Ghouls are in the house, owners of Mount Pleasant, in their blue, one lighter than one, and they'll be hoping to be smiling after tonight's match. They're smiling already, the Mount Pleasant supporters, making that drive from St. Anne just about, I would say, all things considered, maybe about an hour and a half from the parish to Sabina Park, not to Kingston, but to Sabina Park.
Maybe not with you driving, Chris. Maybe that ride will be shortened to around 45 minutes.
Long throw from Harbour View. Effort from Krista J. Daly, but it's hard into the ground. Yeah, Leger, you were saying?
I was saying that we are seeing all of these Mount Pleasant dignitaries, everyone from their staff, fans. One thing missing, as they did threaten to do, of course, are the Cavalier contingent. They don't usually walk with a lot of fans, so I don't want to put too much stock into that, but none of the players or staff we've seen so far. But all fingers crossed that we are getting a final that we do deserve to see.
Yeah, Cavalier, much shorter distance to travel. Basically just next door, the team. And yeah, we haven't seen them, didn't see them at the press conference, but I'm sure they will be here in due order. But yeah, Mount Pleasant, you can understand why they are here so early. They generally come to their matches, especially the supporters, very early, no matter where the match is being played. But yeah, maybe that's a different approach from Cavalier, doing most of their preparation behind closed doors at home.
I wouldn't be surprised, knowing Cavalier and knowing Rudolph's speed, if they arrive at the very last second to give people a little bit of a scare.
Well, the only persons they'll be hoping to give a scare, and I don't think it will be a scare to them, is Mount Pleasant, because they'll have to play them no matter which way it goes. I don't think Mount Pleasant will be worried about that at all. They'll do what they have to do. Whatever time Cavalier turns up will be their business. Another yellow card for Harbourview, and it was Gavin Burton on that occasion. That makes it 3 in the book for the Stars of the East. '73rd minute now. Who will take this one? Philando wing on the left-hand side again, but the delivery isn't the best. And look at how deep Colorado Murray is now. He was in a right-back position. Way too deep for the likes of Harbour View. And he might very well be the most likely player to score. Guthrie over the top. Nice ball to Mitchell. The touch is excellent. Mitchell. A late challenge coming in. It will be a free kick to Harbour View, and we will see another yellow card from Alexi Perry.
Those two coming together, not for the first time in this game. Marlon Martin and Krista J. Daly. It was Krista J. Daly who received the yellow card the first time out. This time it will be Marlon Martin.
Yeah, not unused to getting yellow cards, Marlon Martin. Hard tackling defensive midfielder. And again, he is a second to get back to his feet. Here it is. Certainly was a bit late. Didn't play the ball at all, Martin. Just wondering if Martin is struggling with a slight injury, because he usually bounces off these challenges very easily and very quickly. Firm and resilient player, Martin. Had an excellent season for Arnett Gardens last year. It was one of their shining lights in the season. One of the better defensive midfielders for his play last season. Confirmation of his yellow card.
Good crowd, as we mentioned, already here at Sabina Park.
Well, Kaheem Dixon is back on the bench, and so are the other Arnett players that were warming up. Daly's pass inside was looking for Stewart, but he wasn't on the same page. And now a chance to come forward. A rear touch for Fabian Reed. Nice turn by Allen. Arnett dominating possession and the attacking play at the moment. Cunningham. Decent ball into the area. Can't find a white shirt. And that pass to Mitchell finds him in an offside position. Just about 14 minutes to go in regulation time. Just didn't get out of the offside position quick enough, Mitchell. No chance. That player just allowed it to run across his body, did Fabian Reed, and it had a little bit too much on it for him to do that. Maybe probably needed to take it on the half turn just to keep it under his watch. Now Staple, chance to overlap. He's always dangerous in these kind of positions. O'Shane Staple, good defending by DeAndre Cunningham. Now searching ball, the game getting a little bit more open. Ooh, nice skill there. And there's a foul, and it will be a free kick to Arnett Gardens. That was great skill from Marlon Allen. Stopping it and then flicking it through the legs of Harding. And Harding, who is on a yellow card, that was a dangerous challenge to be committing there. And that's probably a yellow card offense. You'd think to yourself, he had no intention to play the ball, Harding. The ball was there. And just ensured that Allen could do nothing about it. I'm surprised that Perry hasn't even had a talk with him. Free kick towards the penalty spot. Arnett still with his strike. And it's just wide from Rivaldo Mitchell.
He's certainly been relatively impactful since coming on, Rivaldo Mitchell. Getting on the ball just as much as McGregor was, but looking much more dangerous with it. And that shot just blazed wide in the end.
Just one goal on the season for the Arnett number 15. And Palmer did seem concerned for a split moment. The shot continued wide. Arnett to make another change. Ajuma Johnson coming on. One experienced player for another. Fabian Reid won't add to his 16 goals this season. So a career equaling season for Fabian Reid. $16 goals in 2023. 16 goals he had in the 2017-2018 season as well for Arnett Gardens. And the leading goal scorer for the club this season again. Juma Johnson comes on. Pretty good season for him as well. 7 goals, his best goal scoring season by some measure. 7 goals and 4 assists for Juma Johnson. I'm a bit surprised that even though you saw the youngster Kaheem Dixon warming up, that he hasn't been given the opportunity. Another change as well. Tyree Sims coming on for Marlon Martin, who obviously didn't recover from his knock.
I am a bit surprised, but it's understandable just because the game is still in the balance.
And there's something to gain.
Yeah.
Winning it. Martin with a flick on header with Allen, sorry. Comes to Mitchell. Mitchell can't get past the defense line of Harbour View, and specifically Gavin Burton. Probably if they'd opt to take off Marlon Allen, who's had a better second half to me than the first, playing more in his regular position as well. So I think that's why we've seen better from Marlon Allen. Should have had a goal had it not been for an incorrect decision from the officials. But yeah, you like to think if Dixon is coming on, it probably would be for the likes of Marlon Allen. Here goes Ajuma Johnson. What can he create from the midfield? He's nudged in the back, and that will be a foul. Not much time to go. Still searching for that first goal. Arnett Gardens and Harbour View. Only once, actually only twice in their storied history have Harbour View and Arnett Gardens played to a 0-0 scoreline after 90 minutes. Once in 2019 on the 6th of January, and once on the 18th of March 2018. In fact, they've played over 20 times in the last 10 years, and only twice we have seen a 0-all scoreline. It gives us hope, Léger.
Now we're going to see some late dramatics.
Harbourview haven't seen victory against Arnett Gardens in over 2 years. Arnett doing the double over them this season, 3-0 and 1-0 respectively. Harbourview's win came in 2021, the last in regulation time. Of course, they did get the better of Arnett Gardens from the penalty shootout in the playoffs last season, after 2 1-all scorelines in the quarter-final stage. So yeah, just over 6 minutes to go. O'Shane Staple will have a throw. The man who scored in both matches against Harbourview this season is not on the squad list today. In Shea Smith, scored in the 3-0 win and scored the only goal in that 1-0 win on the 30th of January this year. Harbourview yet to score a goal at all this season against the Junglies, and it's the Junglies who attack yet again. A little bit too slow there from Guthrie. Pass needed a little bit more pace behind it. Talk about not judging the wind conditions properly. There is still a heavy breeze coming across the ground from the Campari stand towards the Kingston Cricket Club, and that travel in the breeze and out of play. Player down for Arnett Gardens. Just under 5 minutes to go in regulation time, and we could be heading to extra time. There'll be half an hour of it, and maybe even a penalty shootout at the end of it all.
I don't think that's necessarily what either coach would have wanted coming into this game, but
neither have looked hungry though.
Yeah, just judging by the play, I don't really think that either team have necessarily deserved to win it, although Arnett Gardens should have had at least one goal.
DeAndre Cunningham with the throw. Play about to restart. Amos was a player down. He looks like he's going to be okay. But yeah, totally agree with you, Léger, that no impetus from either side. Very lackluster in the performance. We saw that in the Link Cup third place match as well, the knockout competition, the All-Ireland knockout. It was disappointing. The final was electric, and we're hoping that the final for the Premier League will be as well. Still moments to go in this one though. Chance, Guthrie, and again the connection isn't the best. They have had quite a few opportunities, especially in the first half, in the 18-yard area of Harbourview with space, And their finishing has left a lot to be desired. Should have had a goal when Marlon Allen put it into the back of the net, whistled off by Alexi Perry, incorrectly so. He thought there was an infringement on the keeper, but it actually came from a Harbour View player, his own player.
It seems as if Krista J. Daly really struggling in this game. Coming off on his own Krista J. Daly, but still doesn't look very comfortable. Harbour View are preparing a change. Kemar Mullings. I think it will be for Krista J. Daly.
Free kick to Harbour View. Well, Palmer opts to boot it into touch. Sean Fraser on the touchline isn't happy about that. And Arnett with a chance, but that pass inaccurate from Marlon Allen. Into stoppages now, and there will be 5 minutes of stoppage time. Wow. Probably due to all the injuries in the second half. There's a confirmation. Put up from Odette Hamilton, the fourth official, and there's a yellow card shown to Joshua Anglin. Harbour View number 7. Oh, it actually was Marlon Allen and not Anglin who picked up the yellow card. Nice touch from Allen. Oh, good skill. And not a bad decision as well to play Rashid Kelson in. And it will be Arnett ball. Is it a free kick or a throw? A bit surprised that the throw was given. I thought Kelson was fouled actually. Anyway, lovely, nice touch again from Marlon Allen. Comes to Kelson on the edge of the area. Kelson. Almost 2 out of 5 minutes have elapsed in stoppages in this third place playoff. It looks as though we might be heading to extra time. There'll be 30 minutes of it. Unless these two teams can create one last chance. Shepherd, and that's cut out well by Cunningham. Allen, I think, enjoying this role a lot more after playing his regular number 9 role, and he looks much at home. His touches have been better, he's been more on the ball, he looks a lot more comfortable. Should have had a goal as well. Clearance from Harbour. The control isn't clean from Murray, but it still works out, and Murray looks like he's injured again, Colorado Murray. Wow, it's been one of those seasons. Good skill, Cunningham. And that's a poor touch from Ajuma Johnson. 2 minutes to go in stoppages. Was that a handball there? Oh, well, the flag went up from the assistant. Was a foul on Harding. What a control from Colorado Murray. Does look injured, not running easy, but didn't affect his control. Kelson. Very jumbled in the middle of the park. Now Harbourview driving forward. Murray hobbling towards it. Last minute. Clear to Guthrie, turns quickly. Chance to counter. Johnson's touch is unusually bad. Here goes Mitchell. Mitchell trying to force his way through. Still Mitchell, and that will be out for a goal kick. Overdoes it in the end. Just wonder at times if Rivaldo Mitchell suffers from a bit of stage fright. When he gets to this level, just can't quite find his best football. So that's the end of 90 minutes. At the end of it, 0-0 between Arnett Gardens and Harbourview. We go to 30 minutes of extra time and maybe even a penalty shootout to decide who comes third in the 2023 Jamaica Premier League.
30 minutes of extra time, 15 minutes. Each half. Shot there, not there. Winning that, we go into penalty shootout.
Extra time is on the way in the third place playoff. Arnett Gardens and Harbourview. Arnett Gardens in the full white with red trim. Harbourview in their blue and yellow. Still yet to see a goal. And we have at least half an hour to go. This affair hasn't been intense by any means. And Arnett Gardens have had the better opportunities. Probably should have had a goal in the second half that was ruled out. But they have been the ones that inside the 18-yard area of Harbourview have had a few strikes that just haven't been well executed. Harbourview, nothing really going forward at all. No constructive attacking play by any means. And so it continues. Arnett Gardens again on the front foot. And they win a free kick on the left-hand side. Philando Wing has actually done pretty well on the left-hand side for Arnett Gardens. Willing to overlap. Right through his time as a schoolboy player, played in attacking roles for Jamaica College, most times off the bench. He's found a new position in left back in this Arnett team, and again loves to get forward. Awkward challenge coming in there from Kemar Mullins, who has been brought on for Harbourview too. Free kick for Arnett Gardens. What can they do with this one? And that's way too deep over the head of everybody. Nice skill. Sims looking to get inside the area, but play is broken up. And now Shepherd earns a free kick for Harbourview. Here is Shepherd overlapping down the left-hand side, inside the box. Can't pick out a yellow shirt though, Shepherd. Came on as a substitute in the second half, and this one is easy for Asher Hutchinson. There's a break in play as one of the Arnett players needs some attention. Bit of cramp setting in.
So you can interact with all our sponsors. Also, visit the digital booth for checks, to win checks from digital pick and win.
Suffering with cramp is Amos. He's come off near the end of the second half with a bit of an injury. Was able to continue. He's going to try again, but he's struggling, is Rashawn Amos. We see young Kaheem Dixon getting warm yet again for Arnett Gardens. They almost certainly won't be in the position of Rashawn Amos though.
Unless he's been working on something serious since the last time we saw him play for Chapelton.
I doubt that. He might have been working on things, yes, but not that. Cunningham loses it in the middle of the park. He has taken over the captain's armband since the exit of Fabian Reed. Kelson. That's a bad challenge from Staple. Staple thinks he played the ball. The assistant says no. Did somewhat touch the ball, but I think his studs took some of Rashid Kelson as well. Very exposed were the studs. Perry doesn't like it. Telling him to use his head. Doesn't get a card though, the Staple. Jamar Lewis defending this one. Chance to put the ball in the area yet again for Arnett Gardens. To the near post. Off the head. It's an own goal. Off the head of Odalyn Harding and into the back of the net. Arnett affect the score sheet first. Not the way they would have planned, but they will take it.
Well, we haven't seen too many clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities. So if we're going to see a goal, it would be through inconspicuous means. And that was as inconspicuous as it comes. Orderland Harding heading into his own net. And he has given Arnett Gardens the lead in this third place playoff. They had one ruled off earlier in the game. That one holds all the meaning in the world. And it's Harbour View now, who have to battle back from behind. Arnett Gardens 1, Harbour View 0.
Yeah, that was a brilliant glancing header if there ever was one from Orderland Harding. But I don't think it was in his own net. Now chance for Harbour View getting forward. And angling there, getting into the box, showing good pace as well. But not able to get it past Hutchinson. Harbour View will be forced to come forward now, even more. Here goes Kelson again. And Juma Johnson. Well defended, doesn't win a free kick. Angling can't keep that in play. No surprise if you're watching this season that Arnett Gardens have taken the lead. Harbour View haven't managed a goal against them all season. This is their third attempt. 3-0 and 1-0 wins respectively. And now a 1-0 lead again for the Junglers. '98th minute of play. And it's an Orderland Harding own goal. That is the difference. Well, O'Shane Staple on Rashiki Kelson again. Kelson is down. Ooh, wild from Staple. Doesn't receive anything further. But it was a follow through that is a problem. Not the initial challenge, but then his leg continuing all the way up the thigh of Rashid Kelson. So O'Shane Staple will receive a yellow card after all. 2 tackles in the space of 5 minutes against Kelson, and the second one bookable.
And the frustrating afternoon for Staple continues. Hasn't really been able to impact the game in an offensive sense, and in a defensive one, he has now received a yellow card for his troubles.
And maybe even something of a frustrating season if you were to compare to his last. Free kick for Arnett Gardens. Kelson is up and ready again, even though he is limping a bit. The winner of this game, a qualifying spot in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, the new format for 2024. Cavalier and Mount Pleasant are already there, irrespective of what happens in the final, which comes your way at 7 p.m. Jamaica time, 8 p.m. ECT. Here go Arnett again, Ajuma Johnson. That pass behind Allen. Not sure if he planned that move, but it did work out. Now Kelson to do battle against Staple yet again. Philando wing. Not the best pass on that occasion from Amos though. We're a little settled, but the pass from Sims was rather inaccurate and forced a mistake. Now Harbourview, can they get something going? Timar Lewis over the top. And Mullins can't control. Mullins' shot is on target, but rather tame. Just about 3 minutes to go in the first period of extra time. Arnett with a 1-0 lead. An own goal from Odalyn Harding. The difference. Cavalier have arrived, Deligier. Nothing to worry about. Earlier than you expected.
Right on time.
They might not have known that this game had gone to extra time.
Yeah. Looking quite spiffy, I might add.
In the Oxfords.
Yeah.
Nothing spiffy about the performance from Harbourview thus far. They trailed by a goal and certainly have been far from their fluent best.
It's a very, very important era. Blocking the emergency vehicles. So,
ball over top. Was he onside? There was no flag from the official. There's Rudolph Speed. Technical director at Cavalier.
He decided against Oxford.
Yeah, much more relaxed outfit. Looking to win his second final in as many. 2 in 3 seasons. Anyhow, here go Arnett yet again. And that would be a free kick for Brackenridge. Really sells it. He barely got a touch, did Romain Brackenridge. He knew it as well. Allen. Guthrie. And it's still with the ball. And that's the end of the first period of extra time. 15 more minutes to go for Harbourview to find an equaliser, or for Arnett Gardens to keep what they have, which is an Odalyn Harding own goal that gives them the 1-0 advantage. Half of extra time complete in this third place playoff. Arnett Gardens a 1-0 advantage.
The action carrying on here, on and off the field. Campari Parta stand looking quite full. Hopefully a bit of that energy can be transposed onto the field for the second half extra time. Can Harbourview get back into it?
And the second half of extra time is underway. Harbourview give it away. Arnett coming forward, as we've seen right throughout the game. One goal advantage. The own goal from Odellin Harding. Here goes Tamar Lewis. Lewis moving towards the back post. He was in business, you know, because there was Kemar Mullins lurking, as well as Colorado Murray. It seemed like he actually ended up in the goal. Here's Lewis onto the left-hand side, and good defending in the end just to deflect that wide. Corner Harbourview. So many times today we've seen the corners unable to get past the first defender. There's another example. Again to the near post, and again it's cleared. Comes to Allen, whose touch is immaculate, and so is his pace. Holds it up well to Kelson now. Oh, that pass is so short from Kelson. Doesn't make it to Ajuma Johnson.
Yeah, disappointing counter-attack in the end there by Arnett. It was a 4-on-2 actually, if anyone had gotten their heads up.
Yeah, really a chance to put this game away. Another goal at this point.
Valiant here on show. Big game, big occasion, brings out the big stars. And he certainly is one of the biggest in Jamaica right now.
Well-known dancehall artist.
Yep. I'm surprised you're quite aware of that one, Chris.
Well, you brought it to my attention well. Ajuma Johnson. Not sure if anything valiant is needed from him today. Nice one-touch pass in there from Arnett Gardens. Now Johnson turns on it well. Ajuma Johnson. Good change of pace from Kelson into the area. Kelson! Across the area. And Marlon Allen unable to get a touch to double their advantage. Frustration for Eric Ragamakas and Rashiki Kelson. Great move by Arnett Gardens. Started in the middle of the park with Johnson and company. Change of pace from Kelson to the back post, and Allen, well, he should have done better. He got a touch, did Marlon Allen. I'm not sure if it was in an awkward position for the Arnett number 9. Yeah, holds the head, does Eric Radimakas.
There was a bit of hesitation there from Marlon Allen. He didn't quite dart into the 6-yard area. We're trying to take on that chance. Maybe a little bit of hesitancy from him prevented him from tapping that one home. But another substitution, Kemar Mullins, the substitute being substituted off for Jay Jamieson.
Harbourview desperate for something good now. They don't have much time, just over 11 minutes to get back into this one. Here goes Tamar Lewis, and he over dribbles. It's been the story of the evening or the afternoon for Harbourview. Arnett, they have designed their plays a lot better. And look at that skill from Marlon Allen. Not the pass though. In fact, from the second half onwards, Marlon Allen has probably been the best player on the park for Arnett Gardens.
Yeah, I actually agree with you on that one.
Another yellow card shown from Alexi Perry.
Sims there for Arnett Gardens, a substitute. Tyree Sims going into the book.
Makes it, what, the third player booked for Arnett Gardens. There's been 4 for Harbour View. Ten minutes to go. Odalyn Hardin's own goal, the difference between these two teams. Here goes Ajuma Johnson on that left foot. Good change of pace. Ajuma Johnson, let's fly! Just past the upright. Always dangerous when he's allowed to dribble on that left-hand side. And he has a lethal left foot, Ajuma Johnson. But this time, just needed to tweak the radar a bit.
Yeah, carried well. Was looking up for a pass as he usually does, but the shot wasn't as accurate as he would have wanted. And it's still looking the more likely team to score in this game.
Play broken up. Jamon Shepherd. At this stage, what do you think Harbour View can do? They really haven't shown anything in these first 112 minutes. They have barely even gotten to the 18-yard area of Arnett Gardens. Is there something they have off the bench that you can see that could change anything? Or
probably nothing that isn't on already, to be honest.
Yeah, thought you would say that. Here's Arnett yet again, though. Kelson
nudged in his back there.
Slight nudge from Harding. Did enough, though. Arnett certainly looked the more dangerous of the two and the more likely to score again. George Davis and Wayne Lewis in the house. Former Jamaica cricketer Wayne Lewis. Part of Weeper as well. George Davis, former host, presenter at Sportsmax. Executive producer as well. Now a part of the nationwide family, George Davis, former president of the Press Association of Jamaica. There's Director of Operations at the Caribbean Premier League, Michael Hall, in the house in the white long sleeve shirt on the right. Howard McIntosh is there as well, Head of Development at CONCACAF. Howard McIntosh. Nice through pass here. Is this a chance for Arnett Gardens? It is, but Kelson can't get it past Palmer. And I tell you, Mario Palmer, since getting his opportunity for Harbour View, has really done well. Brave goalkeeper, and this is another example, DJ.
Yeah, made himself really big. Not much for Kelson to aim at there. Yeah, and a good save in the end. But Arnett Gardens yet again slicing that Harbour View defense open.
Here they go again. Allen on the far right. Just about 5 minutes to go in extra time. This is the precursor to the final. A bit of a dive there from Ajuma Johnson. Alexi Perry wasn't buying the ticket. And Tamara Lewis. That's easy for Arnett. Really been a disappointing performance from the Stars of the East. 2 players down. Anglin as well as Palmer. The Sportsmax app moment brought to you by the Sportsmax app, and it's this moment. The own goal from Odeline Harding. A lovely glancing header, but at the wrong end of the pitch for the Harbour View number 27. Couldn't have been more accurate. And yeah, rather unfortunate for Harbour View. But it gave Arnett Gardens the lead that they still have. That is the Sportsmax app moment. Still 1-0 and just about 4 minutes to go. Eric Rademacher, he's been up off the bench for the entire extra time period. Some words of advice to Ajuma Johnson. Decoy Williams also buzzing around. Teagat Davis looks pretty calm though on the bench.
As he usually is, to be fair. Allen. Wide of the mark. As so many of their strikes have been today. They actually had to get some help from Harbour View, as you just saw, to get the advantage in Arnett Gardens, because their strikes have been very inaccurate and they have had quite a few. Just 2.5 minutes to go. We do have to talk about the man of the match, Leger. Here's Ajuma Johnson. I think probably Marlon Allen might be close to the top of your list based on his performance post first half. I think so. Even in the first half, he was making things happen as well. I think a couple of Arnett players have been good. Wing has played well, I think. Kelson has played well. But Marlon Allen, just for his overall contribution, how dangerous he's looked. Basically, every time he's touched the ball, it's hard to argue against him.
And to be completely fair, he should have had a goal. It was a mistake from the officials not to award him with that goal. So, yeah, definitely think that he's been the best player. But certainly, Philando Wing has had a good game from the left-hand side. And Rashiki Kelson as well. The man who is on the ground, the former captain, Romeo Guthrie. Not a bad performance either.
Yeah, he's looked really solid in the middle of the park. Arnett generally have looked quite comfortable because Harbour View has made it very comfortable for them.
It's been a miserable game for the Harbour View team. They have actually made it pretty easy for Arnett, and it's just surprising that there's only one goal, which didn't even come from an Arnett boot. The finishing is a part of the game that has been disappointing from an Arnett perspective. We're in the final minute of the third place playoff of extra time. We're hearing a minute to be added in terms of stoppages, and the Odeline Harding own goal is the only thing that differentiates these two teams so far. If it stands this way, it will be a hat-trick of wins this season for Arnett Gardens over Harbourview. 3-0, 1-0, and it seems as though it will be another 1-0 as well. Into the stoppages. They have the ball and the free kick. Kelson. No real attempt by Harbourview to even retrieve. I think they just want the final whistle at this point. Ajuma Johnson. Guthrie. Guthrie with a strike. It's blocked. They're heading towards a qualifying spot in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Arnett Gardens. They are going to finish as the third place team this season. This is probably the last play in it. Can Harbourview create some drama? Stoppages have been played. No, they can't. That is it. The Junglists defeat the Stars from the East by 1-0. An own goal off that man's head, Odalyn Harding. And Paul Teagat Davis and company complete a hat-trick of wins against Harbourview this season. 1-0 on the night. And Joel Cunningham, who wears the captain's armband, can celebrate. Ludlow Bernard beaten again by Paul Teagat Davis this season. Harbourview finished 4th and out of contention for the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Arnett are through to that competition at the regional level. They will join Cavalier and Mount Pleasant in the tournament's competition. After extra time, it's Arnett Gardens who finished 3rd. They defeat Harbourview by 1-0. Full match highlights. Alexi Perry, the man involved, the man with the whistle. And Harbourview driving forward in their blue and yellow. They had the first opportunity. Very rare moment in the box for Harbourview, it must be said. Arnett Gardens, they had quite a few, but their finishing, well, it was woeful to say the least. Rashid Kelson with a poor effort there. Then they had this attempt from Fabian Reid, which was pulled wide. Such an outstanding season he's had, Fabian Reid, with 16 goals. But today wasn't one of his best. Then Philander win with a strike. It was on target, but too soft to bother Romario Palmer. Kevon McGregor, the Tarrant schoolboy, into the area, but that attempt was out and blocked for a corner. And then this. Marlon Allen with a strike. Low down, Palmer to his left, executing the save. Arnett continued to come forward in the second half. Allen again. And that goal should have counted from Marlon Allen. Really didn't commit a foul. It was a mistake, actually committed by his own defender from a Harbourview perspective, and Allen's goal was ruled out. O'Shane Staple known to score from distance. Not today, that one wide into the side netting. And Arnett Gardens, they would continue to drive forward. Mitchell coming on as a substitute, and that wasn't far wide from Rivaldo Mitchell. And then the moment that changed it, Rashid Kelson into the area. Odalyn Harding off his head and into the back of the net. An own goal against Harding. And it was all that Arnett Gardens would need to complete this victory. They had other opportunities though. Kelson into the area for Allen. And Allen should have gotten a touch onto that inside the 6-yard box. Just needed a touch. And that was all she wrote for the game. It took extra time, but Arnett Gardens found the one goal that was needed. 19 shots, 6 on target from Arnett Gardens. Just 1 shot on target in 120 minutes from Harbourview from their 8 attempts. 7 yellow cards shown by Alexi Perry. 4 saves made by Romario Palmer between the sticks for Harbour View. Arnett Gardens had the majority of the possession and all the goals. They win the 3rd place playoff by a 1-0. Ligier Williams is with our man of the match. It's none other than the Arnett Gardens number 9, Marlon Allen.
Marlon Allen getting the man of the match from Terry Lavelle from Digicel, marketing officer. Well-deserved man of the match award, of course. Marlon, it was a really good performance by you. You did everything that I'm sure your coaches would have asked. How you feel about your performance?
A wonderful game. First and foremost, I have to thank the coaches for believing me, put me out there. I always fight. You know me as a fighter. Never give up. Work it too hard. If you're not working, try to figure out a way to work. I'm a hard-working player. And coming from so far, from Ochi, come to town, put in a good shift. It's a wonderful feeling. Understand?
I'm not quite sure if you know, but the goal that you scored in the second half, it was a very fair goal. They took it away from you. But in the end, you got the man of the match and your team got the win.
Yeah, because no matter what come against we fight the fight, same, Them say it's a foul, I would just drop it and come again, work and come again. Harder. See, they'll get a victory. It's a wonderful feeling. Can't even explain it.
I know you're a really hard worker, and I know you'll be back next season to stake your place and get more game time next season.
Yeah, unfortunately, they pick up a little slight injury, so I never really to rush it. Take me look time and working, and understand. Most and foremost, coach, them believe in me. That is the greatest point of view. You understand? Give them heads up to believe in me and work with me. It's a wonderful feeling. Can't even explain it.
All right, great performance today, and best of luck next season, of course.
Thanks. Have a wonderful day.
Now we're moving on to, and he's going to be getting his Digicel Man of the Match trophy from Terry Lavelle. He has to get that Man of the Match trophy and goodies from Digicel, of course. Well deserved with his performance today. Excellent work there. We'll now be moving on to Harbour View's head coach, of course, Coach Ludlow Bernard. Coach, that certainly wasn't the performance that you would have been hoping for. What went wrong today?
Not the result that I was looking forward to. I mean, I thought today we were kind of short staff, and the guys gave the effort as much as they did, but clearly it wasn't good enough.
What do you think that maybe Arnett did well that he could have tried to counter?
I don't think it's a matter of what Arnett did well. I just think it's a matter of what we didn't do, right? We weren't creative enough. I thought we defended very well right throughout. It's just unfortunate that we scored our own goal. But I don't think we were really that desperate or that passionate to really go forward and go and look a goal and get a goal and even, give the goalkeeper some work. It was really a lackluster in and around the goal. And for us, going forward next season, that's an area that we'll have to address.
You finished 4th in the regular season, now 4th overall in the competition. I'm assuming you'll be coming back for top spot next season?
Oh, definitely. Definitely, I will be back. And of course, this doesn't stop the journey.
It doesn't stop the journey. There's always a lot of questions whether you will be back at Harbour View or any other team. But it's glad to say, I'm sure your players are very glad to see that you will be coming back next season.
That's something that I'd have to speak to my superiors about. I always wanted to bow out this season and allow for a smooth transition. But we will see.
All right, thank you very much, Coach, and best of luck next season if you return.
Thank you very much.
We'll now be going to Paul Teagat Davis, head coach of Arnett Gardens, of course. He's calling up Coach Eric Rademacher with him as well. It's a dual interview, he says. Coaches, how do you feel about your game plan? How do you think it was executed, and what do you feel about the win?
First and foremost, I bring him beside me just now. Show him how much I appreciate, love him. The coaching staff, one of the best person as a coach I can ever ask for. Becky, Dekai, and the whole minders, but most important, the players. I thought we had a nice season. It's unfortunate we didn't get what we wanted, but we had a wonderful season.
Coach Eric spoke before the game about this not being the end of the process for you guys. So I'm sure next season you'll be looking forward to even more success.
Yeah, it's a building process, you know. And, you know, last season we came out, we went to the quarterfinal and get knocked out. This is the semi-final. So next season you're gonna be much better, you know.
You're going for the title next season, but
definitely, you know.
You're into the Caribbean Champions Cup now, qualified for that because you finished third place in this. Is that a big achievement for you? Is that something you're looking at the start of the season?
Definitely, you know. We set objectives, you know, to win the Premier League and get the CONCACAF. At least we didn't win one, but at least we achieved one of the goals.
Yeah, one quick on that. When I talk about achievements, I think one of the things that we set for ourselves outside result is the type of football. And I think when you see more and more the type of football that we love to see, that we see overseas on TV, the better our players are able to transition into certain environments where they want to go. So I know more and more clubs trying to play a little bit that way, but I hope that what we achieved as well this season, that we try to convince we can play football like we see overseas and get results along with it. So hopefully we can continue that one, not just at Arnett, but straight throughout the league.
You mentioned straight throughout the league. Of course, Arnett are known to play some of the best football in the league, especially this season. Is that something that we should grow to expect when you have new players coming in and maybe even younger players coming to the fore next season?
Definitely. Definitely.
Well, Coach, thank you very much. Best of luck next season and great win today.
I want to say again, crime and violence must stop.
Must stop, gentlemen. Ridiculous.
There, heard it from the managers from Arnett Gardens as well as Ludlow Bernard from Harbour View. It's Arnett Gardens who get the victory in this third place playoff. 1-0 against the Stars from the East, Harbour View. And yeah, certainly been an improved style of play in the Jamaica Premier League. Promotion for the final, it's the Jamaica Premier League final on Sportsmax 2, live tonight at 7 p.m, 8 p.m. ECT. Mount Pleasant looking for their first title at this level against two-time champions Cavalier. That's it for the third place playoff. Arnett Gardens defeat Harbour View by 1-0 and are through to the CONCACAF Champions Cup playoff.